Carl, great to see you. You obviously spent 2.5 seasons with us in League Two and then in League One. How do you look back on your time at Pompey?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably for me the best 2.5 years I've had in football in terms of just everything involved, all um, the little pieces of the jigsaw, if you like, that just pieced together the place. I had a young family, the football, the manager, just the fans, everything. There's everything combined was just perfect at the time. So it was really got to look back at it with fond memories for sure.
Yeah, and you obviously got off to the perfect start as well with 2 goals against Dagenham on your debut. What was that like? Obviously, showing everybody what you could do right from the off.
Probably the worst thing I could have done, mate, if I'm honest with you. Everyone expected that every week then. Obviously it was nice to start off your debut like that. You want to get off to a flyer, but then you want to continue that. And unfortunately for me, that season I didn't quite hit the heights that I expected in terms of goals, and I think my assists were quite good. I got into maybe 15 or something like that. But in terms of goals, I didn't really reach the highs that I wanted to, especially after the first day. So yeah, it's probably the worst thing I could have done, because then all the fans expect that every week. It didn't quite happen like that.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the crowds at Fratton Park. I mean, obviously you came from Doncaster, who have a pretty decent fan base themselves. But how did you find the supporters at Fratton Park? Did that crowd give you a lift, or was it sometimes difficult to meet the demands at all?
No, I mean, I think when you come to a club like Pompey, you almost kind of know what's expected of you, especially at the time. They've just had a bit of money and obviously a new manager, new change, and we all knew what the expectation was that season. I think the fans knew it, Ian McInnes knew it, Paul Cook knew it, and all the players did. So, I mean, at times they were sometimes got on your back a little bit. But having said that, I've played for teams that get on your back much quicker. Yeah, the fans are incredible, man. I played in front of crowds probably bigger than Portsmouth, and the atmosphere is just not like that. It's insane. Especially to tell you one thing that caught me was the fact when the opposition team scored and the fans got louder. I've never experienced that in my whole career at another club ever, and yeah, it's something that's stuck with me massively.
And for you personally, you seem to have quite a good relationship with the Pompey fans throughout, even when the form was up and down for the team. How good is that when you've sort of got people really wanting you to do well and really backing you?
Yeah, I think it wasn't just me; it was a collective. I think I did take a bit of stick at times, which probably rightly so at times. And like I say, the expectation was there. So if you're not meeting that expectation, they're going to let you know. They pay their money to come, as they say, and they're entitled to voice their opinion. I guess that's what people will say. So yeah, it was good to have them with us most of the time. It obviously gives you a massive lift, especially going to a game. If you've lost the game at home, um, and the next game's at home again, sometimes that happens. They're coming back. Whereas at other clubs I've been, potentially, if you've lost the game and you're on a bad dip of form, um, the crowd tends to drop a little bit. It was almost a counter effect at Portsmouth, actually, where you probably got more fans because they expect you to win the next one and probably score 5 or 6 goals. And yeah, it was good.
You mentioned Paul Cook just now. How good was he as a manager, and sort of how well did you get on with him throughout your time here?
Yeah, it's football players nowadays sign for managers first and foremost. The manager persuades them to sign. Obviously the club plays a massive part, which it did for me anyway at Portsmouth. But it was initially the manager that persuaded me to come down there. Um, and my relationship with him was, yeah, it was really good. We ended up becoming friends, I would say. We'd sometimes meet up outside football and whatnot, with the families and stuff, and go for like lunches and stuff like that. So yeah, I got on with him really well, and um, as a football manager, he was second to none. He was quite tough, not quite tough, very tough on us. There was one that I remember. I think all the boys remember this actually. There was one that I probably won't say on here, but this one's fine. So I can't remember what game it was. We was at home, and we didn't score. I think we drew 0-0 and we didn't score. And on the Monday, so we played the Saturday, we had the Sunday off. On the Monday morning, we turned to training. He says, "No one needs boots today, lads. Get in your cars, meet me down at Southsea by the arcades." He's like, "All right, yeah, what's going on? I thought we were going for a nice walk or whatnot. Right, get your shoes on, run." Made us run. He said, "If you don't score at home, you will do this every time you don't score at home. If you don't register a goal at home, you are running every Monday morning." It's 6 mile Southsea run, we called it, because it's 3 miles one way and 3 miles back. So we did the 6 mile Southsea run because we didn't score at home.
Did it work?
Well, I'm sure you're better at stats than me. I'm sure you see that we didn't score many goals at home.
Let's focus on the good times though. Obviously, two of the biggest games during your time here: Notts County away, Cheltenham at home. Which out of those two was the more magical for you?
It's gotta be Cheltenham. Has to be. We're at home, full crowd. Everyone knew there was nothing to lose. You know, there wasn't nothing riding on the game, I suppose, apart from the title, of course. But we'd already been promoted. The prize of the expectation had been reached. Our objective was promotion. We achieved it. So it was almost just a day for a party celebration, I suppose. And then to go and score 6 in front of your home fans and to clinch the title in the last few minutes, you know, it's incredible. Notts County was obviously a really good day because it confirmed our promotion, but it wasn't at home, and I think it makes a big difference, in my opinion. Some other players might say different, but for me, it was definitely Cheltenham, and because I scored as well, obviously.
For that Cheltenham game as well, you know, you had cheers going around the ground for other goals going in League Two. How did you guys keep up to date with, you know, when you realised that the title was in your grasp? When did that sort of sink in for you?
You can hear the fans, you know, especially the ones on the front row. You can hear some of the shouts. "Oh, that person just scored!" Especially in that game, because obviously we were focused. Of course we were focused. We won 6-1. We had to be. But especially in that game, you know, everyone was a bit more cheerful, and you could hear more shouts in the crowd because you wasn't fully in that zone. Does that make sense? We were in the zone, but not fully in it. We were still thinking about, you know, afterwards and whatnot. But you could hear the. We knew we hadn't scored. We knew the other team hadn't scored. So what the fans are cheering for? It must have been a goal at another game that's helped us out. So we could. I think after the final whistle, we didn't fully know we'd won until people ran on the pitch, and that was. Or were they going to run on the pitch anyway? Probably, but I think when they did run on the pitch, they were shouting to us, "We won, we won, we won." So we kind of knew from that point, really.
And then for the celebrations that followed, you must feel a little bit hard done by, because at Southsea you were stealing the photographers' cameras and doing cartwheels on the stage, only to be upstaged by Gareth Evans stealing the microphone, which is what everybody talks about now.
Yeah, Gaz is a top lad. You know, there's no competition. The boys will tell you that there's a lot of jokers in that dressing room, and especially when Gaz had a few jars. You know, he's a lively cat, so yeah, he can take that accolade. He's a good crack. Especially, definitely when he took the mic. Actually, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. I think we was all a bit tipsy at that point already, so it was good times, man. Good times.
And obviously, you know, in football, all good things do come to an end. Just sort of talk to us about your departure. Were you sad to leave the club?
Yeah, no, I really was. At first, I didn't want to leave. Funny story, because at the start of that window, obviously, Kenny told me I could leave, and Bristol Rovers came in for me early on in the window, and it was agreed, really. Everything was agreed. I just hadn't signed any paperwork. And I remember Darryl Clark rung me to confirm the hotel and the postcode and whatnot. And yeah, I just kind of did a U-turn on it, really. I just couldn't see myself leaving at that point. It didn't feel right to me. I wasn't ready to leave. Yeah, it was a struggle. It was a struggle to leave, especially uproot my family again. So I've done it a few times now. So we loved the place. They were happy. My oldest child had just gone into nursery, and yeah, we were really enjoying our time. And the football wasn't going great for myself, but we still, family life and the area is still a massive part of it. It all comes together. It's not just about the football. It's everything combined. And yeah, it was a big struggle for me to leave, to be honest.
You've played against Pompey a couple of times since you've left. I think last
Mm-hmm.
season as well, you almost scored in the last minute. Do you have any memory of that at all?
Yeah, it was one of the best saves I've ever seen. I got to say that it was. I thought it was in. I don't know how is it Craig
Craig
McGavillery?
McGilvery, yeah.
I don't know how he saved it. I've been known to miss from that close before, but I was pretty certain that was in. But yeah, it was a great save, and it's obviously tough. That was my first time playing against Portsmouth since I'd left, so it was tough. I haven't been back to Fratton Park yet, which is interesting. How I'd be perceived when I eventually do, hopefully, do come back there. It would be nice.
And speaking of moving forward in life, you've set up a side project as well. Just tell us a bit about that and sort of what it aims to achieve.
Yeah, it's just I've been pondering quite a few things over quite a while now, and I really don't know how I fell into doing this. I just did, and I'm not saying anything bad. It's a really good thing. It wasn't anything planned. I just literally just fell into it, and there's a lot of things that I've started and not really continued with, and with this one for some reason I just decided to put my foot to the floor and just give it a go. You never know where it can go. It's probably a bit of fear before not doing it, and then I just kind of release that fear and just give it a go. So what it is so I'm just making clothing at the minute, and I've got a few like small items like coffee mugs, notepads, tote bags. I'm gonna have a few guitar plectrums and little things like that with our logo on it. But it's basically aimed around helping endangered species. So whatever it costs us to make, obviously we deduct that to take that back to reinvest into the company, and then 50% of our profits go to a company called www.wildnet.org, who you distribute the money to helping endangered animals.
And what was sort of the inspiration behind that? Obviously, really great cause.
So as a family, we're all vegan, plant-based family. So, obviously at first it's probably more health reasons why we turned that way. But then you start to read more and about the environment and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was just, yeah, like I say, I really, really don't know. I really, really don't know why I just came into this. There's going to be a reason why later on down the line. I don't know what it is yet, but yeah, there was no massive reason apart from caring for animals, obviously.
And I'm sure there'll be plenty of Pompey fans who'll want to get behind that as well. So how can they get involved and where can they find the stuff?
Yeah, so the website is www.nextinction, nextinction.co.uk. So that's the website that we've set up. It needs some touch work. I've done it all myself, done the website myself. Me and my wife did the screen printing on the actual shirts. We're changing that now because I'm moving over to a company that's obviously the clothes that I've got are vegan, but it's a fully ethical way of producing clothes, even their prints and everything like that. It's non-plastic and everything like that. So you can find all the stuff on there on that website. But what I'm looking to do as well is, if you don't want to buy merchandise, because some people just don't want a hoodie, some people don't want a mug, some people don't want a notepad or a tote bag or a guitar plectrum. So what I'm hoping to do is I'm in contact with the company that I'm giving the donations to try and set up a page where they can just send donations directly to them. So if they don't want any merchandise, then they can just donate if that's what they feel like doing.
Lovely stuff. And for on the pitch, as you say, you've already got a few promotions under your belt. What's sort of left for you to achieve? What are your aspirations from now until the end of your career, whenever that is?
Good question. Tough question, I think. I'm kind of coming to a point in my life where I'm not there, trying to let go of expectations of anything, myself, of other people. So I'm not expecting anything of myself. What would I like to do is a different story. You know, I'd like to get another promotion if I could. But if I don't get one, it's fine. But yeah, I think another promotion would be ideal for. But yeah, I think it's just to stay healthy, stay fit, and as long as my legs can keep going, I'll keep plodding through. You know, as long as someone will be willing to give me a contract, then I suppose I'll keep going, because I still love the game. Football as a whole is a brilliant game. You know, you join football, and as a youngster, you become a football player because you love playing football. You know, you learn a lot of things along the way about politics and people and stuff like that, which is not always. It's one thing that I would love to change in football is some of the stuff in it, some of the politics side of football. Would be here all day if we went into it, but I would love to be able to change that. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now.